On this episode of Unbillable, we answer a viewer's question of who keeps the engagement ring when the wedding never happens, and we do it with an all-new microphone. Back. All right, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Unbillable. It's been about a week since we recorded our last episode and posted it, and the reason is we've been upgrading our microphone. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I sound a lot better with this new microphone setup. I actually did all the research on what to do with the microphone and our GoPro system on YouTube, so shout out to all the YouTubers that are posting about the audio problems with GoPros. So let's hop into this episode of Unbillable. Today's episode, I want to talk about a question that has never ever come to my office. In fact, a question I've answered multiple times for friends. No one has ever come into my office and asked me, when you get engaged, if the engagement doesn't result in a marriage, who keeps the ring? This is a question that my friends have debated with me on multiple occasions. Women love to say that the woman keeps the ring. Men love to say that the woman gives back the ring. Both of those situations assume that it's the man that's proposing to the woman. But in modern times, it's not always the man proposing to the woman. It's not always even a man proposing to a woman. A man in these days can propose to a man. A woman can propose to a woman. We have same-sex marriage equality in the state of California. And so this isn't really a question about gender. It's not a question about man versus woman, although that's how it comes up in cocktail parties. This is really a question of, is the engagement ring a gift? Is an engagement ring a gift? If it's a gift, then the gift is given and there's no takebacks, right? I mean, everybody knows the no takebacks legal principle. Once a gift is given, there's no way to unwind the giving of that gift. Is an engagement ring a gift? When someone gets down on their one knee in the traditional sense and proposes the question, will you marry me, and pops open that lovely little box, is that a gift? The law says it's a gift, but it's a gift in the contemplation of marriage. In fact, in the state of California, we actually have a civil statute that regulates whether or not the ring is returned to the asker, or the person who makes the proposal, or the recipient, or the person that responds to the proposal. The current law in the state of California is that when you ask someone to marry you, the wedding ring is a gift in the contemplation of marriage. Somebody just waved me, had to give them the deuce. When somebody asks you to marry them, that is not a gift. The engagement ring by itself is not a gift. You know, the person takes a knee and says, will you marry me, and pops open the box. At that moment, it's not just a mere gift. It's not, they're just not handing you a present. What they're saying is, will you marry me, enticement. In other words, the ring is an enticement. The ring is there to entice you to say yes to the marriage proposal. This creates a gift in the contemplation of marriage. So what does that mean? I'm giving you this gift because we're going to get married. As a result, if it turns out we don't get married because you don't want to get married, because you back out, because the person who is proposed to decides to back out of the wedding, then the gift is returned to the person who proposes. Based on some more recent case law, if the person who proposes decides to back out of the wedding, there are some scenarios where the person who was proposed to would actually get to keep the ring. So under California law, the general rule is it's a gift in the contemplation of marriage. The marriage needs to actually be completed in order for the gift to also have been completed. Now, inevitably, when you're talking about marriage in the state of California, someone will ask you if the result is any different in a same-sex marriage. And in the state of California, the genders play no role. In fact, the question of whether or not the engagement ring is a gift has nothing to do with whether it's the male proposing to the female proposing to the male, a male proposing to another male, or a female proposing to another female. In fact, in the state of California, same-sex or marriage equality, however you want to word that, all it's done is enlarged the amount of people getting married, enlarged the number of people buying engagement rings, and enlarged the number of people embroiled in the divorce system. It doesn't matter if you're straight or gay. It doesn't matter if you are male or female. When someone proposes, it's a gift in the contemplation of marriage. And it's a gift, meaning this gift is yours once we get married. So with that, I want to take a moment and thank my friend Trisha for coming up with this question, for reaching out to me and suggesting that we answer it on a future episode of Unbillable. I'm glad I was able to do that. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button. If you got something to add or a question for me for a future episode, be sure to put it in the comments below. And most important, if you want to keep up with me and everything going on with our vlog here, Unbillable, please smash that subscribe button. You know you want to, and I'd appreciate it if you do it. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and we look forward to seeing you on future episodes of Unbillable. Woo!